going, buddy? Where are you going? Come back here. Oh, that's the boy. Right there. Hello, the boy. The boy, the boy, the boy. Say hello. That's the Chick-fil-A sauce. Okay, then. Thank you. I see how you are. You do not care about me. You only want to care about yourself. But I am okay with it. He does not like that accent. Oh. Thankfully, nobody heard. You all right, bud? Who's a good boy? Three mother fathers watching alive. We three little motherfuckers, yeah. We are never, ever, ever getting lace another. I'm just looking at stuff until you guys show up. I'm just looking at stuff until you say shut up. Everybody knows what I'm going to say. Everybody knows where we're going today. Everybody, 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 hello. My good friends, hello. My good friends, hello. Look at people. King, what's up? What am I looking at? Just stuff. I just look at random stuff. Stuff and things and stuff and stuff and things. Yeah. So what is up, people of the world? Let's see, make sure we got the grenade launcher, the AK, and everything else in this frame. Yep. Find the new gun, win nothing. Where's Rocky? Rocky is laying down. He is tired. Got some good sleep, I can tell. Actually, I did not, my guy. I feel absolutely horrendous, terrible. I feel like I'm sick and I want to puke. So, pink Gatorade Zero and a little bit of a sit time. Hey, Brock. Spock. Croc. Rocky. Bucky. Yeah, he's tired. Let him sleep. We'll show him off in a little while. Everybody's like, where's the dog? Where's the dog? Dog's doing good. He's getting as many subs on his channel as I do on mine, which makes me sad, but proud, because it's my dog. Yeah, definitely my dog. So come on in. I'm sure because I named the thing Potato, it's probably causing some issues, so let's go ahead and change that. This is a live stream. Yay. It's good length for a 308. Well, ARP stands for AR pistol, so technically anything under 16 inches would qualify it as an AR pistol. I have seen a Freedom Ordnance Group once made a 5-inch 308. It's just a flashbang. We might not even go late tonight because depending on how much people are here. Loud boy. Who's loud? Are you loud? Are you allowed to be loud, Rocky? Jiminy just got training for being a mechanic. Going to officially start Monday. Awesome, Andy. I'm happy to hear it. Mouse, what is up? All the people coming in, seeing the guns. Everybody got to be. What's the shortest 308 you'd run? Probably 16 inchers. I really want a Ruger SFAR in 16 inch. Just to try it out. One of these days, I'm going to do a live where I don't answer a single question and I'm not going to respond to anybody, and I'm just going to sit here and play video games while looking at my own screen. You guys are going to be like talking the whole time, trying to get my attention. You're going to be like, is he actually doing something? And I'm going to be like, no. Can you find the new gun on the wall? Think 5.7 would be better out of an 8 or 16-inch barrel. Wow. The AR was up last time. Oh man, this is already fucked up. Woody, what's up, dude? I don't remember what this is from. I just put it on my nose. That's what you do at the bar. You don't ask her where she's from. You just put it on your nose. Ladies. Zaytowna, what's up? Woody Wood, it's been a while, man. Where you been? You been on other people's channels having fun without me? I would too. I don't like me anymore. All you new people, like the video, subscribe. That's all I want. I don't want your money. I just want your likes, your subscriptions, your interactions. Absolutely legit, dude. If you want, click on the name of the channel when it appears in the corner or wherever it is, and you can see I do a lot of shooting and a lot of other stuff. You're building a PDW, and 5.7 won't be a best barrel length. You ask a lot of hypotheticals, my guy, and honestly, it wears me out answering them. I apologize, dude. 5.7 was designed for a pistol, and it was also used in a rifle. It was used in the PS90, which originally had a 9-inch barrel. So that PX4 up there, I want to carry too. Yeah, that one is the 4.1 inch in 45 ACP. I don't like Milsurp rifles. Would you rather have a Sig 320 or a Glock? Always a 320. You have a Desert Eagle in 50? No, not anymore. I sold it. I've had a ton of different guns that I've sold over the years. Maddie, long time no see. What's up, dude? Yeah, I'm extremely tired tonight, so we're just going to be relaxing. Sig makes 1911s. Same old, working nice. So the powder burns fast, performs good in short barrels. I've seen 16 was the best. I wanted something short. All right, so I think we kind of went over this the last time. Most cartridges will achieve their maximum velocity between like 12 to 18 inches in a barrel, okay? There will eventually become a point at which a barrel loses velocity. But for a PDW, you want maneuverability, and you want to be able to have as compact a package as you can. So you want a shorter package. That being said, YouTube and people that quote ballistics charts and all these anoraks that think that you have to have a certain length barrel to have an effective gun, it's all bullshit, man. A 5.7 out of a 5-inch barrel will close in on 2,000 feet per second. So out of an 8 or a 9-inch barrel, it's going to be 2,200 feet per second. It's still going to be plenty fast to do the work. Uh, 200 versus 230 grain 45, what should I go with? Depends on what you're doing with it. If you're just talking about like a hollow point, going with the lighter one will make it go faster. It'll probably go supersonic then at a 200 grain. Yeah. PDW stands for Personal Defense Weapon. How are Ruger's 1911s? Very solid, actually. I like them. Sounds like it would hurt. Yep. Best revolver for 2025. My personal favorite is the Ruger GP100. What do you think about guns made in Pakistan? If you have no idea, I recommend Chris must list in Jin Gunshot. I don't know of many Pakistani actual creators of firearms. Pakistan makes a lot of copy guns. Yeah, I don't know who that is, Auslander. You look really tired. I am really tired. Do I like trucks? Yes, I've got two. We're talking like EDC and like JHP rounds. Yeah, go with a hollow point in a 200 grain. It will open up very much. You'll also notice that the hollow points are deeper in a 200 grain because that's where the weight comes from. Ruger makes good weapons in general. Yes, they do. Have you heard about a Byrna lesson? You mean Byrna, Byrna? Yes, they're actually very expensive. So unless you live in a place where you're restricted from having firearms, it becomes your only option. I really don't recommend them. Your C96 would make a good one. Yep. 1911s for the trigger, but no quantity. Get a 2011. You can get a 9mm with 21 round capacity and a flush fitting mag. So yeah, you can cover both worlds, man. There are no single stack 17 round Glocks. So give a Glock a single stack capacity, you wind up with 10 rounds or less. So yeah, 1911 double stack, you get anywhere from 15 to 21 rounds. Nice. Any brand suggestions? For ammo, Hornady or Federal are the two I would always recommend. Like your setup looks cool. Thank you, Just Duck. Faye says 1911s are number one. Thank you. I agree. That's why there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them right there. A lot of 1911s. How much have I spent for a Mac 11 with infrared? Depends. If you're looking for a full auto one, you're going to spend probably in the $15,000 to $20,000 range. How was your day? Very tired. Rebuilding. Do I have a revolver? There's a 410 shotgun behind me, and no, I'm not picking it up. You can't. Bleh. Same great trigger, more reliable. More reliable? That's not really a thing. If the gun is built well, it'll be reliable, but you get more capacity. Best gun for a beginner depends on how beginner you actually are. If you've never shot a gun before, I would start with a 22 of some sort, a revolver with one round in it until you learn how to properly hold the gun, and then you can start adding rounds to it. What about Spear for self-defense ammo? Spear Gold Dot is pretty solid. I just don't have much experience with it, so I only name the stuff that I like. Lehigh ammo is the best. Lehigh is solid stuff, but again, it's stuff that I've never used myself, so I can't recommend it. But I will take your advisements and your suggestions, and they're here now. So, do I carry cocked and locked? That's the only way I carry a gun. If the gun is not ready to be pulled and pull, then it doesn't deserve to be near me. If you're too afraid to carry a gun cocked and locked, you shouldn't carry a gun. How was the Winchester 9mm? I haven't shot it yet, Mouse. I'll shoot it on Tuesday. Well, I've never heard of a 1911 for reliability. Then you probably don't buy good 1911s. You probably buy cheap ones. You can't buy a 1911 for the same price as a Glock and expect it to be of good quality. You can't have an all-metal gun be quality for $400 or $500. Okay, mister, thanks for answering my question. No problem. All right, Just Duck, you're treading into no territory. Hey, what's up? Yeah, some people don't because they'll also quote that it's because of the Israeli Special Forces. The only reason Israeli Special Forces trained without one in the chamber is because they were intending to take firearms off of dead combatants and putting them into service by racking rounds into them. That's the only reason the Israelis practiced it. I haven't been around lately because I've been dealing with the sickness and heart and chest stuff, so I fell out of line with the whole gun world. So now I'm back up and getting into it. That's awesome to hear, Maddie. Hopefully you get better soon. What's your opinion on the M&P Shield series? I like them. I like the Plus, though. Building another AR because I had to sell mine because of Dr. Bills. That sucks, Maddie. I have 2,000 rounds of that surface grade. I mean, it should be okay. I don't know if it's going to be about the same as the white box or not, and that's where my questions are. Best brand for guns as a whole, your opinion. See, that's the problem. I don't like pigeonholing guns to one manufacturer because, you know, Nighthawk Customs builds the best 1911. Glock builds the best Glock. CZ builds the best CZ. So it's like, it's hard to really say who's the best manufacturer on the whole because every single one of them makes a turd. Glock, every gun Glock makes is a turd, but they're great turds. It's like when you take a really solid poo and it feels really good, that's what a Glock feels like. It worked. It did exactly what you expected it to do, but it wasn't fun and it kind of makes you feel dirty. You asked a few military people, all said Glocks. Okay. You ask military people what makes them qualified just because they're in the military. I know a lot of military people. I wouldn't trust a lot of military people with a fucking slingshot. I see the blue Gerson on the wall. Yeah, it's a nice one. Any upper suggestions for around 200? If for around 200 for an upper, you're probably going to be looking at Bear Creek Arsenal. What you're saying about Israel and they're doing. I don't get involved in politics. I'm not there. I'm not involved in any of the discussions, the happenings, or any of the infighting. So I leave myself out of it. I think it's supposed to be loaded hotter than white box. I guess we'll see. Should be asking who makes the best 9, who makes the best 45. Even then, I mean, everybody has a preference, man. There's some people that won't shoot certain ammos because they had a bad experience. Some people that will shoot a better one. So, yeah, Bear Creek does some okay stuff, man, and they have good sales. Are Desert Eagles good guns? Well, Desert Eagle is a brand, not just a gun. Desert Eagle has 1911s. They have the Baby Eagle. They have all kinds of stuff. So if you're talking about the Desert Eagle 50 caliber, 44, the 357, or the 429 Desert Eagle, they're okay. They're not as reliable as people would hope they are. Is this a gun shop? I own a gun shop. The military is switching over to Sig. The military switched over to Sigs in 2017, bro. Colt went downhill terribly in the last few years. They recently got bought out by CZ, so the quality may come back, but we'll have to wait and see. You have a favorite gun? My 1911 platforms are just my favorite in general. Raw, you had to retract your message because you fucked it up, so it doesn't make any sense to continue to try to make the joke because we all know you're too stupid to make a rib. Also, your mom said she liked Down syndrome cock, so I'm winning. Cops in Oklahoma have SIGs as well. Opinion on Heckler and Koch. It's very expensive, but it works well. Candace, what is up? If you are a permanent visa resident, then yes. If you're not a resident of the United States, then no. So you trust people who use Glocks in combat and missions. Which military division do you know of that uses Glocks as the standard sidearms? Glocks are used by special forces. And most guys that are in special forces, they run Glocks because they're boringly reliable. Okay, that's great. That's not an enthusiast talking about it. That's just because it runs. And I'm 100% behind that. I 100% agree. If all you give a shit about with your gun, and I'm not saying that to be rude, just if all you give a shit about is that the gun goes bang, get a Glock. That doesn't make them the best. It makes them reliable. And do you know why they're reliable? And you can fact check me on this. It's because they have the shittiest tolerances of any striker fired gun on the market. It runs because it's loose. It's like your mom. Not your mom. I'm being facetious. I apologize, Just Duck. I don't mean your mom, but it's like a whore. It has such loose tolerances that anything you stuff in it will work. That isn't quality, that's reliability. Big difference. How many guns have you owned in total? I have no clue. Probably somewhere around 500. What's good? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. So, reliability doesn't get you killed. Yeah, well, reliability doesn't save your life either. Competency with what you possess saves your life. Just because the gun will go bang, if you don't like the gun, you're not going to train with the gun. My 1911s, I will put up against any Glock on the face of the fucking planet because I work on my guns. I take the extra step to make my guns reliable for me. Again, and I agree, if you don't care about guns, Glock is fucking perfect. It's the one gun that's going to save your life, but it's also like recommending that you put beige wallpaper in every room of your house. It's fucking boring. Boring doesn't matter for your life. Okay, if that's the only reason that you own guns, I'll never convince you otherwise. And I don't want to convince you otherwise. But as a gun enthusiast, there are so many guns at the same or better pricing that are more interesting in their designs, their function, the skill required to maintain them. All kinds of shit out there that is more enjoyable than a Glock. You're 1911 over Glock. You're high. Okay. Yeah. I'm working on the QR code we talked about. Nice. Been working on a Glock 19C Gen 4 build, and holy frick, it's pretty close with an afterburner setup. Okay. What do I think about the TTI Combat? Which TTI Combat? Can suppressors be transferred to others or privately bought? No, they cannot be privately bought. They are a federally controlled item. If you want to sell one, you have to go through the exact same process. Typically, what would happen is you'd have to take it to a Class 3 dealer, put it in their inventory, while the other person fills out the background check for that. The gun store will maintain possession of the item until the other person clears. It usually involves a lot of money. It's not really worth it to do a private sale. What happens when somebody's trespassing in your backyard? Unless they are causing you bodily fear or causing you to fear for your life, you call the cops. Trade you my 1911s for your Glocks. Unfortunately, that won't work because my custom Glocks probably cost more than your 1911s. I own Glocks. It's just they're all custom to make them run good. They're not worth it by a fucking long shot, you know. Like my Glock 19 with the full build on it is I probably have like $1,600 into it, and it shoots about as well as a $600 1911. What about a candy apple red Glock 23? What about it? The fact that you brought up a Glock and a 40 cal in the same sentence makes me want to puke in my mouth. Is that a P20 on a wall? Is what a P20? I'm seeing a movie tonight with Mrs. Mouse. Nice. Why do you have so many guns? Because I have a lot of fingers, toes, and nose hairs, and each of my nose hairs is strong enough to pull the trigger. What's the gun with the silencer? That is a Fusion Firearms XF Pro. Hair trigger on a CCW. Not recommended. I carry 1911s. The average trigger pull on my 1911s for like my Para Ordnance Black Ops, which is my daily carry 1911, is about 3.5 pounds. That's about as light as I want to go. Is that Gatorade warm? It's room temperature. Peak American right here. Pretty much trigger finger. Can I have a free hook? Here. Can I see the 45 closer? No, I can't pick up guns. Sorry. Will it still be that expensive to transfer suppressors after the first of the year? Well, as long as it doesn't get appealed, no. Then the $200 tax stamp will go away, but you're still going to wind up paying like when I do private transfer suppressors, it's $75. So if you're trading off like a Silencer Co. Switchback, which is a $200 or $250 suppressor, and you're paying $75 on top of that, it gets expensive. How fast are my trigger fingers? Not very fast at all. I can get a cadence going, but if you've ever watched my videos, my split times are terrible, probably in the 2.1, 2.3 range. Favorite gun up there? Probably tonight, my favorite gun up there is probably my Para Ordnance LDA 45. That is a CCW LDA. It's a very rare version of the carry gun because it has a commander slide with an officer frame, which you don't see anywhere. Ren with the red magazine. Red magazine. Oh, that is an AK-47 if that's what you're talking about. Have I killed anybody? No, I have not had to. The gun wall has advanced and evolved. Yes, that is the 2025 wall, so we've added a few guns. With the $200 tax stamp going away, we'd be able to pick up suppressor same day. No, you still have to do the regular background check. You lose the tax stamp, so it's still an enhanced background check. So as fast as you passed it before will be the same. E-file could be as short as a day, but no, it's not going to reduce the time. Which state are you in? Virginia. It's always cheaper on the street, but my guns won't give you a felony. Hey, what is up, Chanson? Rocky is laying down. He's kind of zonked out right now. Do you go hunting? No, I have never been hunting. No Cerakotes? What do you mean? They say 3 days at minimum. E-file can speed things up even more than 3 days. I had a guy get approved in 14 hours. That is not an AK-47. That is an AKM. Okay, sure. I wanted to get a gun permit in New York City, but I don't think it's legal over here. You can get a gun permit in New York City. It's just difficult. Do you have a Mosin Nagant? Nope, sold it. Mouse sent me an email. All right, what's your thoughts on PSA guns? As long as you take care of them, they're fine, but they are not really super reliable right out of the box. Oh, that's cool. What does that code go to? Is that to the show? How much did you pay for the M16 with the scope? It's not an M16, it's an AR build. I didn't pay a single penny for it. If you go to duplicate it, you're going to spend about $4,500. Do you still have the Mark IV? Yes, I do. It's in my store, so it's not on the wall. I am English. Can you tell me how much your average pistol costs? How much is a box of ammo? That varies. It very much varies. I can tell you, let's say, for example, the most popular sidearm right now would be the Glock 19. They run anywhere from $449 for a new one down to $300 for a used one. A box of 9mm can be anywhere from $12 to $20 depending on where you live in the country. Does the Night Stalker count as a 2025 gun? Yeah, if I give you a gun back to trade for it, yes. If I give you that Henry X lever or whatever that you want, then I acquired it back in 2025, so that would count. It's all fake. You betcha, Alum. What cheapest gun? I don't know. Probably the Rete up there. It's a couple $100. Why did I sell it? Which one are we talking about? How is the Glock 17? The Glock 17 is fine. How much is a para you carry? My para ordnance is a Black Ops. Gun broker pricing, market pricing. Gun broker is actually a fair metric for what a gun is actually worth. Not gun stores or arms lists or anything like that. The para ordnance Black Ops ranges anywhere from like $850 to $1,100 on gun broker depending on the quality. Mine has an upgraded trigger and firing pin and springs and stuff in it, and I have the original box. I'd probably put my value at around $850 would be my value. So $4,500 for an AR is wild. It's not hard to do. The upper on that AR is $1,500. The trigger is $500. The scope is $500. The minute you just start adding 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, you can just start adding money. The stippling on the pistol grip was $100. So yeah, the muzzle brake was $100. So yeah, it's crazy. You can just start going nuts on price just by adding parts. Do you have to have a clean record and no mental health issues to buy a gun? You have to have never been committed against your will. I have spent time in mental health facilities on my own recognizance because I just needed time to my brain. Cheers, my American brother. What is up, Atlas? Careful, there's a sloth behind you. There's 3 of them, and they're always watching me, but they move very slowly. What's your most expensive gun? I don't really like spend what other people spend on guns because I do a lot of deal hunting. In terms of value, probably my STI Grandmaster is worth about $5,000. Have I ever seen the briefcase transforming SMG? There's a few different ones out there. Glock did one, which was probably their best gun. And then there was probably a few other ones. What's up, Jiminy? How you doing? Every day, what's up? How many do you own and how long you been in the game? I've only been in the game for about 7 years. What trigger is $500 on the AR? It's a Franklin Armory binary trigger. When it first came out in 2019, it was a $500 trigger. Right now, I think they're $389 for that trigger. Are they airsoft guns? Yes, but they shoot brass and copper projectile. 8 inches square too big for the QR code to the store. I don't think it is, but remember we talked about that. We don't want to do the one to the store because if it's on there and somebody scans it, it could get me in trouble. We were going to do it for the channel. Yo, dude, are you feeling better now? Not really. I would totally take a 30-30 tactical lever. I'll take a look and see what's out there, man. Number one, you called it a clip, so I'm going to tell you definitely no. But number two, it's a live stream. You're not allowed to touch guns on live streams. Do I have a Colt 38 Super? No, my STI is a 38 Super, though. That's a lot of guns. Not really. Thoughts on 1911 22 TCM? Actually, supervisory, believe it or not, my first handgun was a Rock Island 9mm 22 TCM combo 1911. Would you get an FRT? Not unless I got one for free. Would I shoot my YouTube plaque like the other guys? No, because they're probably using Temu copies. You got a Glock 18? Not yet. Oh, got it. We'll do it for the channel. Thank you, sir. What do you think about the Mauser M96? No real, yeah, 8x8 would be perfect, man, because that way it can be sitting in the back of the whatever, so. Is the High Point Yeet Cannon a good budget gun? No, it's just a cheap gun. Do you know how the super safety works? No, I actually do not. I've never played with one. McManus sent out the Alien today. He wants to keep the P10F, so we're trying to figure that out. God damn, he kept that gun longer than I did. If you had a 9, tell him to just send the money to you so you can just go ahead and order another one, dude. You've got the logins. If you had a 9mm but bored it out to 15mm, how much pushback would your bolt be able to handle given the increase in overall grain count? No idea. And if it's a bolt, the bolt's not going to have pushback because a bolt locks up when you shoot it. 500 guns, about 20K in guns, or 200K in guns. The wall behind me is, I'm not going to give you an exact price, but there's about 16K on the wall right now. So if you think 500 guns is only 200K, yeah. Credible, it's been a long ass time, dude. Thank you. Who has a 3D printer? Apparently Live Free Armory, because the Live Free Armory Apollo 11 is freaking 3D printed. Oh man, just the fact that you did that at all, dude, that's awesome. What kind of pellet guns are those? They fire 9mm pellets. It's insane. You have to have permits to keep all those guns. No, you don't. There are some states where you're required to get a permit to own firearms, but where I live in Virginia, nope. You clearly don't know what you're talking about. Giving bolts do pushback due to the micro fissures in the aluminum based on the force of the grains. You are... Okay, you're right. You're 100% right. Yep, absolutely. Do you have an M416? Do I have an HK416? Or what's an M416? More arms than a construction site. Interesting statement. You want a stream to teach kids how to shoot a gun? You can't. Can you legally print mag base plates? You can print anything that's not a serialized part of a gun or technically the gun itself. I mean, technically you can build your own guns and it's 100% legal. Is Springfield Saint a decent AR platform? Hit and miss. In general, yes, but they still build some turds, man. It all depends on the quality of the person working that day. Make you better some grips for the rainbow PLA color. I mean, it's crazy. Your 3D printed grips on the Tanfolio Witness that I have is better than the grip on the Apollo 11. So if you find a print file for a 2011 and you want to print one, I will put it on the gun. I will finish it and put it on the gun. No idea. I'm not into bolt action. Next weekend, you're buying your first gun. Awesome. What is the Second Amendment for? It's for arming bears. Did you vote for my mom? I don't know. Who I vote for shouldn't matter to you. Is it true adding an adjustable stock allows a weapon to fire higher caliber projectile? Yes. Also, AR-15s weigh as much as 10 shopping bags. No, nothing behind me is for sale. I need to get a base plate for like +3 for my gun only because I'm not paying $50. Which gun are you trying to get it for? Thoughts on the Hellion? It's probably the newest bullpup on the market. It's a bullpup. I don't really. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Joe. That's why I was making the additional joke. I bet you feel like Rambo. Not really. Nobody's trying to kill me for my beliefs in fighting in Vietnam. Do you have a CG Scorpion? No, I don't. Oh, you're talking about guns. I was thinking you were talking about engines. Egg on my face. Okay. You shouldn't put egg on your face. It's not as beneficial as the egg industry wants you to believe. Why are your eyes so far apart? Because I saw your mom naked and my eyes tried to run away. Do you go to gun shows? Not very often. I went twice last year. Bought one gun though. Money wasn't an option. What's your choice for art? For art, the problem with art is art can't have a purpose. So if I'm purposefully buying art, I would buy the Mona Lisa just to piss on it. Do you like Mauser? Which version of Mauser? Mitchell Mauser, Sig Mauser, or Mauser from back in the day Mauser? He's got a green PL1. I think he's going to trade me for the P10F. Oh, that would be interesting. The Hellion is my favorite bullpup random I know. Nothing wrong with that, dude. You're here. It's a gun channel. Real question. Sig, yay or nay? Yes, because it's all about which models you buy and which versions of those. If you're a basic ass bitch who bought a 4-cylinder Chrysler 200 and you complain because it exploded, then you're a basic ass bitch and you bought an M17 or a base 320 with the curved trigger, you deserve what you get. If you spend even another $30 to $40 and you bought the X full or any of the guns that have the X flat face trigger in them, none of those are involved in those issues. Or you buy a 226, a 229, a 938, a Sig Fuse, a 365. None of those guns are involved in the self-determination of application of force. 3D printed guns, are they any good? Nope, because it comes down to the person doing it and the quality of their printer. And for the most part, all y'all are redneck motherfuckers that I don't trust. What should the QR code go to the Jiminy Show homepage? Either the homepage or the video or the shorts page. Go to the shorts tab because that will lead everybody to what everybody wants to see anyways. Us Aussies are trying to get our guns back. Frick this government. Yeah, I wish you the best, brother. The Mitchell Mauser. I used to have the Mitchell Mauser 1911. Sold it to my buddy Ryan. He really wanted it. What are your thoughts on the caramel? I like caramel when it's a drazzle on some ice cream. Do you own a wartime era M1 Garand? Not anymore. After Trump's pardon, I can now buy weapons. Okay, Kyle. Do you know what our Remington 3030 1974s are worth? No, I do not. I am not a blue book. I don't memorize the blue book because it changes too much. I'll do that to the shorts page. Awesome. When you get a chance, look up Nemo Arms Omen Nightmare 8-inch barrel chambered in 300 Win Mag. At some point I might, Ultra, but you know, I'm familiar with Omen's guns. They're cool. I don't think any 3D printer is capable of making a decent frame, honestly. For the most part, for a civilian use frame, for a civilian use printer, there are some really good ones out there that can probably match at least, like LFA is using 3D printing for their frames and they feel like trash. The gun may be great, but the grip feels like trash. It has like almost no flex to it, so it's kind of bypassing the fact that it's polymer, so... if money was not an option, what would be your AR-15 platform? It's up there behind me. Thoughts on 50 Beowulf? It's interesting, but very expensive. Thoughts on ARs or AKs? Side-folding stocks. Well, the problem with an AR with the side-folding stock is you have to deploy it and before it will run. An AK with the side-folder, you can just run it. Because an AR requires the buffer tube if it's a standard AR. Cody says, everybody take a second, double tap your screen. Do it! Do it, motherfuckers! I want to see them likes go up. I don't want your money. I don't care. I don't even care if you like me, but just hit the like button and the subscription button. Show YouTube that they aren't the tyrannical assholes that they try to be by showing love for gun channels. We're trying to prove that decent gun channels have a place here on YouTube while they just sit there and actively try to destroy us. So your likes, your interactions, leaving comments, even if you're saying something stupid, don't say something extremely stupid just because I'm going to rip you a new one and talk about your mom. But just come in and play around, man. Let's see. It's 8:39 in 1 minute. I will do a walk around on the wall. You want it to say scan me or something? Yeah, put scan me. What shotgun is the best? I like the Mossberg 930 tactical, but money no option. A Benelli M4 is really hard to beat. TM. Any new handguns this year that are interesting? There are a few, but it's coming down to manufacturers selling parts and stuff. I do have the new Bursa 2011 on the way, and I'm kind of in a 2011 kick this year, even though I'm very late to the game. I don't give a shit. Am I handing down guns in your will? Fuck that. The only way anybody gets a gun is they have to shoot my corpse. Why did cops stop carrying stronger calibers like 357 Sig and 40 Smith & Wesson to a 9mm? Cost of firearms, number one. Effective use of force is different than it was back in the 80s. A 9mm now would probably outperform an old 40 Smith & Wesson. Might even keep up with an old 357 Sig, but also many cop cars carry much higher caliber AR pistols, such as 5.56, 300 Blackout. Thank you, Ruben, for your stupid comment. You're helping the algorithm. I love Buffalo Classic 4570. Damn, that's a good one. How does the 320s with the curved trigger have the issues, not the flat trigger? I've never heard this. Hey, Untitled is still alive. What's up, homie? So the 320s involved in the uncommanded discharges have the curved trigger. The curved trigger has a weaker entire trigger assembly, so it's more susceptible to inertial-driven firing. What is happening is both when the gun gets shunted forward or shunted rearward, the trigger bar, the trigger spring, everything associated with the curved triggers is weaker and not as good. So that's why the M17, M18, and the standard 320s are the guns associated with the uncommanded discharge. To date, as far as I'm aware, no X5, X-Full, Spectre Comp, or AXG has been involved with an uncommanded discharge. Because of that very reason. They're designed differently. The weights are different. The way they interact with their trigger bars is different. What pros of having a fully auto shotguns versus semi-shotgun, which is better? We don't have fully auto shotguns as civilians, so there is no pros. Is it worth carrying a 357 Sig or 40 nowadays when most people carry 9mm? Not if you're worried about picking up ammo. If you're just worried about carrying a gun, carry what you carry, man. Who gives a crap what other people think? As much as I make fun of Glocks, I don't give a shit what you carry. Just because I don't like them doesn't mean that I don't respect a Glock. If you carry a Glock in a 40 cal, fuck, good for you. I don't care. It's very capable of killing me. Unless you're a limp-wristing bitch using an ETS clear mag with 4 rounds in it, and then you're probably limp-wristing it and it's going to fucking stovepipe. I get all the guns in as well. Yeah, but you also get my stuffed corpse with an erection in your living room. Don't forget that part. How do you feel about 10mm handguns? They're fine. I'm not a caliber guy. The very simple answer I have to give when it comes to caliber questions, I don't give a shit about the caliber. I care about guns. If a gun is only available in 9mm or only available in 10mm, then I have no choice to either like that gun or not like that gun. If I want to buy a Colt Delta Elite, I can only buy it in 10mm. So I either accept the 10mm cartridge or I just don't buy the gun. So I'm a gun guy, not a round guy. Are subs good for home defense? Yeah, absolutely. But just make sure you get ones designed for it. Would you recommend IWI Caramel? I don't know what that is, and I'm not looking it up. I meant semi-auto versus pump. The pros of a semi-auto is that you don't have to pump it between shots under pressure. Sometimes people can spaz out and not pump. You can what's called short stroke it, where you kind of go, but you don't go all the way, so you don't pull it hard enough to rack a new round in. Pump can be considered more reliable because it's less parts to fail. I have a booger on the inside of this nostril, so I'm going to get it, okay? Will a 40 cal 23 stop a bear? No, but you're more welcome to try it because Darwin will work. Digging for gold. Dude, I didn't even get it, man. Am I a veteran? Nope. Did you get a face transplant? Yes, because I saw your mom naked once and she fell in love with me for some reason, and I've been hiding from that bitch ever since. All right, let's do a wall tour really quick for tonight. Gerson Gen 4 Sport. It's a good gun-ish. Arex 01 Tactical. That is the one Untitled Goose helped pay for. Thank you, Untitled. the Rite RXP-22, which looks a lot like that, which also looks a lot like a 226. That is a 22 caliber handgun, semi-auto. Haven't shot it yet. Who knows if it's reliable. That is a 1970 Romanian AK with the dong and a bakelite, painted bakelite. For some reason, somebody took a bakelite one and painted it extra red. I don't know why. Dan Wesson, DWX with the Burris Fastfire E mailbox optic, is what I'm calling him. The Live Free Apollo, Live Free Armory Apollo 2011 clone. The Para Ordnance CCW LDA, and if you look closely, you'll see that most of the major damage to the slide has been removed. I polished it out just slightly to see how it would come out, and it came out fine. TSOS Night Stacker, love the Night Stacker. Love the Airsoft collection. Thank you, dude. It takes a long time to get these because they shoot like 9mm rounds, and 9mm pellets are expensive. We got the TSOS BR9 double stack. The Gerson Influencer X single stack, but very nice gun. I've shot that on the channel many times. We've got the G-Force Arms Chronicle 1911. I did buy a Springfield loaded target today, but I already sold it to Jacob. Thank you, Jacob, for buying it. The Fusion Firearms XP Pro 9mm 2011 style. The Fusion Firearms XF Pro with the suppressor. The AR custom build that has a Burris optic on it. Thank you, Burris, for that one. Burris has been a supporter of the channel, just sending me optics with absolutely no obligation, and I have failed them by totally living up to that zero expectation by not doing a video. I need to do one. But that's my custom build up there. No, you can't have it. The Rock Island 5.0, which needs to go back to Rock Island. I keep forgetting, and hopefully they will too. PX4 Storm in 45 ACP. Fusion XP Pros, you can go to their website and check them out. They're about $1,200. Nobody identified correctly the new gun on the wall. That is the Sarshamals, or Sharshamats, B6 full size. It's a CZ75 Bull Armory Cherokee kind of clone thing. The Daria Arms Island Barreled DY9 and the TSOS PX9 Duty Comp, which has done very well on the channel in terms of videos. Over 4,000 views in 2 days. I like it. And then a Taurus Public Defender 3-inch Judge. And then the 37mm Bloop Tube. Yay! I have Glocks. Glocks don't belong on my wall. Glocks are not special enough to be on that wall. Also, the two that I bought this year, I sold. That is my 2025 acquisition wall. The only guns up there besides my AR are all 2025 acquisitions. I'm buying my first pistol soon. What's your number one recommendation? My number one recommendation, William, is going to be a little bit of an anticlimax for you. My recommendation is that you go to a gun store and try a bunch of different guns. Put them in your hand, see what fits. Or even better, if you have a range near you that will allow you to rent the gun and shoot them, shoot a bunch of guns and see what feels good, dude. Because you want to make sure you're comfortable with the gun. I can tell you that a Glock 19 is one of the most reliable handguns on the market. A Smith & Wesson M&P is one of the most reliable handguns on the market. A 1911 has the best trigger on the market, but you may like one, you may not like any of them. So you need to go and see what fits well in your hands. That will lead you down the right path to correct gun ownership. How's Rocky doing tonight? He's doing pretty good. Hey, Rocky, you want to come here? Come here, buddy. Come here, bud. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come here. He got domed today by running into the barrel of a gun that I was holding, so he's a little off. Come here, buddy. Come here, Rocky. Come here, buddy. Yeah, thank you, buddy. Can you see his head? Can you see his head up here? Huh? Not 100% sure what the differences are, but this is Rocky. Rocky's just having a day. What's the difference? Let's see. Lots of split shell casings with the Judge. That is very possible. All guns hold my soul as long as they work. Yep. If you just joined the firearm world again, what would you do differently to start off? You got a good start. I'm new and want to get a good collection going. There are basics you have to own if you want to be a gun guy. I complain a lot about Glocks. I own 7, and many of them are customized. If you own a gun, you can complain about it. But you should definitely own a Beretta. You should own a 1911. You should own a Glock. You should own a high power at some point, or a clone. You can own clones. They're perfectly fine. Or a CZ75. So that was Rocky, by the way. Mac 10 equals 45. Mac 11 equals 9mm. I think some are in 380 as well. What gun does Rocky like? Rocky doesn't like guns, and I'm not trying to make him a gun dog. Like, he's not going to be wearing a ballistic vest and doggy ears and going to the range with me. That's not what he's for. He is to be my buddy. We go out and play. We go out and walk. We go out and just kind of hang out at the dog park and mac on girls. Just kidding. That's not what dogs are for. CZs are too hard to work on. Says who, my guy? Thoughts about FRT triggers? Get them if you want them. Force reset triggers aren't my bag. I'm just not into wasting ammo like that. I feel bad when I mag dump, honestly. Does Rocky sleep in your bed? He sleeps wherever he wants, but yeah, primarily he's been sleeping on my bed, and I don't care. Hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have a fur coat as thick and luxurious as his. We go out, you can have them like you got Dead to Right game. What? What are some tips and advice? Should I go to gun shows? I'm training, learning, trying to build my collections. Gun shows in 2025 are probably one of the worst ways to get a good deal on a gun. I suggest that you go to some gun shows and see how widely varying the prices are. It's pretty bad. We have one here in Virginia. It's called the Chantilly Gun Show. It's the biggest one in the state, or one of the biggest ones in the state. And they had 3 K-12 sports. Sarchmal's K-12 sports. One guy wanted $850, one guy wanted $750, one guy wanted $650. They were all within 300 feet of each other. So it's hard to get as good a deal as you might think from a gun shop. Most Blunted says, what's up, Rocky? Rocky is already back laying down in his sleep. I think he got a little bit of a headache. I took a gun down to show to somebody, and Rocky got scared of one of the people and turned and ran towards me because he's my buddy, and he smacked head first into the barrel of a shotgun. Dulles Expo Gun Show is this week. Yeah, that's technically the Chantilly one, kind of. They call it Chantilly just colloquially. You have a clothing line? No, I did shirts for a while. I may do shirts again. What's the big round gun on the left of the screen? That is a 37mm signal device. Academy is the best value for buying a gun. Depends. It depends because you have to factor in the transfer cost. Some places are insane with their transfer fees. I'm from Virginia where the only thing to do is cook. No, that's West Virginia, and they cook meth. Find a gun you like, then call Wind City Armory and order it. Yeah, that's pretty much. I am pretty solid on those. Poor pup. Yeah. He's good, though. He's been happy. He walked a little funny. I've never met a Galil Ace owner where they just a gimmick. No, I've met Galil Ace owners. They're just overpriced for everyday ownership. Academy has good deal on ammos. Yeah, that's true. It's hard to beat a lot of online ammo prices, but when it comes to guns, it's not as hard as you think because when you factor in things like shipping and transfer fees. Did you answer what kind of dog Rocky is? No, I did not. He's a German Shepherd American Staffordshire Terrier mix. Basically a Pitty and a German Shepherd. Sig Ammo. SG Ammo is a good place to order ammo online. Okay, what are some things you should do when you get a new gun? Make sure that you learn how to operate it, like in terms of takedown and maintenance and things like that. Personally, when I buy a new gun, I always take it apart to see if there's any obvious deformations in materials, such as burrs on the slide, internal rails, anything like that. Just kind of give it a good going over. I also like to remove assembly lube and replace it with real lube, just in case. West Virginia mentioned, it is true. All I do is cook meth. Oh, have you ever been to Martinsburg recently? You can smell it. So when you're driving through Inwood and Bunker Hill and you're going towards Martinsburg, it switches from weed to meth. You sent it to the printer. Nice. What's the cheapest way to get new guns? Pawn shops are pretty solid unless the pawn shop is a bunch of dick bags. Getting to know your local gun broker or gun dealer, I said broker, I apologize, but your local gun store owner, becoming friends with owners, things like that. If you live in a state with private party sales, that's a great way to do it. Or spend 6 months of your time, get your FFL, build a store, and then you get cheap ones traded in all the time. I import and train working line German Shepherd, so if you want to play Gravy Seal, I got you. I'm good, brother. I can barely keep up with them as I am with my physical disabilities. Don't play with your new guns in the car, you get weird looks. Yeah, I was driving around with a shotgun in the front seat today without realizing it, and the dog's in the back seat, so people are looking at the truck as I'm driving, and there's the barrel of a shotgun sticking out up in the window. My Rete came in today, picking it up tomorrow, going to the range. Awesome, dude. I was supposed to get my RXM in today, but I missed my FedEx delivery, so I won't get that till Monday because, fuck the mail. Sharps Brothers, thank you. Shout out to Sharps Brothers. John over at Sharps Brothers, he liked my Echelon video because that's got over 10K views. He's sending me out the Sharps Brothers 17-round RXM frame. I think that's going to be an interesting time and interesting video. Going to do more shorts with you shooting guns. Can you test fire guns you sell? No, you cannot test fire guns that I sell because I don't own a range connected to the store. When I go to the range, I tend to film some shorts. I just haven't gone through what I've filmed to edit any in. Gentilly was a great show. Whenever year when I was stationed around there, coming home made me realize what I had lost. It's not in my taste, man. I can't find things I really like there. My first time at a gun show, I got a 1953 Czechoslovakian top-loaded bolt action. I used to believe it was in 7.53. Not 100% sure it was bigger than a 308. Interesting. Never seen a gun in real life before. A lot of people haven't, man. Did you know that in the United States, 27% of the population has not gone online? So nearly 90 million people have never been on the internet. Physical disabilities. My best friend has a 3-year-old German Shepherd from me and competes. She's a paraplegic. That's awesome. I'm a double amputee, so I could potentially join the Dog Paralympics. What do you do for a... I understand paraplegic is different. I'm not saying she's not anything. What do I do for a living? I own a gun store and I make stupid videos on the internet. I'm waiting patiently for the new full-length Ruger Marlin 336. Yeah, it's not on my radar, but a lot of the new stuff looks pretty good. Full-time at a distillery, weekends at a gun shop. Nice, Ryan. Can you use baby oil if I'm out of gun oil for my Glock 23 gun? What you really should do, one, is take that gun, disassemble it, throw the parts away, and buy at least a 9mm for shit's sake. You decide to get the Springfield Kuna. I have it waiting for a distributor to get it. It's on my please send as soon as you get list. What kind of grip does the Apollo take? Is it proprietary? No, it's a standard 2011 grip. In fact, I need to change the beaver tail that it has too because it doesn't have a good enhanced memory notch on it. Trust any plastic parts or should I stick with metal parts? It all depends on where the plastic parts are, man. The trigger shoe, fine. But I wouldn't trust a slide lock, slide release, a hammer, a striker assembly. None of that should be plastic. Am I a veteran? No, I did not serve. You're good, brother. I got the joke. It was good. Thank you, sir. I'm from the UK. We don't have many guns here, only shotguns, and they are rare. Understood, Steven. I'm sorry that after we defeated you guys so terribly 350 years ago that you guys decided you shouldn't have guns anymore. Pew, pew, pew. Shots fired because I have guns. I'm sorry. Save your king. Why would you want 9mm if 40 is stronger? Because 40 is not really as strong as people think it is. It's a shit cartridge and there's not that many guns made that fire it. And by your same logic, why would you want 9mm if 357 is better? Or why would you want 9mm when 10mm or 50 AE exists? Different calibers do different things, and what you want them to do, your capacity, your gun size, everything gets taken into account. If you generalize a question such as if a 40 is stronger than a 9mm, why would you run it? I would argue that a Underwood ammo 9mm would be stronger than a standard self-defense 40. So you can get 9s that are stronger than 40 and be at a lower price point because 40 is getting to be a less popular cartridge, so they're not making as much, which drives up price. You're going to check out some grips and make you one in white PETG. Will that work? Not in white. I think that would be off. A rainbow would be sweet as hell, or a blue. I'm into black and blue right now. If you could do blue, that would be awesome. White would just get destroyed. Black or blue. Would you still use it? 40 was made by people because they were too weak. Yeah, literally, there's a joke about 40. Instead of it being 40 Smith & Wesson, they call it 40 short and weak, because 40 is literally a neck down or a shortened 10 millimeter. It's kind of like the power difference between a 357 and a 38. What lever action would you recommend? Winchester, model 1894. Regular 40 is stronger than regular 9. No. Not always. Which regular 9? Who's manufacturing it? When you say regular, do you just mean Full Metal Jacket? If you're saying Full Metal Jacket, there are some companies that hot load their regular 9. So there could be 115 grain 9 out there that punches as hard or not, or harder than standard 40 cal. So there is no real standard. There's this SAMI spec for ammo, which I think is what you're quoting. And if you go by SAMI spec, yeah. If you want to go by paper, yeah. But you're going to be one of those people that just quotes numbers. I can't have a discussion with you because you're not having a real world discussion. You're having a paper discussion. And those discussions don't go anywhere because real world application is completely different from a ballistics chart. Yeah, see what you can do, dude. I moved far to the south, and you should see what I have to do to get guns. Just to buy any gun, I need to get a psych exam, buy the gun, get it 3 months later. Holy shit, man. 1101, that is crazy stuff. Why don't you go back and re-listen to what I actually said, bro? Because I literally said it on video. You can go back and rewatch it. Penny chewed through our MacBook Pro charger today. Shit, that sucks. Anna says, love you. Thank you. You too. .357 Sig is more powerful than 9. Depending on the cartridge, 40 is better than 9. But I also said that with modern technology, many 9mm cartridges are as effective or more effective than 40 caliber cartridges, which is what I actually said. You can go back and keep trying to twist what I said to fit your argument. It's not an argument I intend to entertain. You can keep going if you want. You keep going and I'll just start ignoring you. 40 seems like the worst of both, less capacity than 9 and less power than 10. Pretty much. Mrs. Mouse is working on getting a replacement. Hopefully not on the MacBook. She'll kill it. PCC or 5.56 ARP for home defense. Depending on where you live, man. If you live in an individual house where overpenetration isn't as big as a concern, I would go with 5.56. But if all you can do is run 9mm, and also PCC could mean 5.7, 9mm, 45. I'd hit with a 45 pretty goddamn hard. A CMMG Banshee in 45 ACP or 10mm would hit like a son of a bitch. What's up with Underwood ammo? Are they legit? Absolutely. Underwood ammo makes solid brass rounds, like the Extreme Penetrator, which is basically just a plus-shaped piece of brass that will punch through things without deforming. What do I think about Glock chassis? In reference to what? When you say Glock's chassis, do you mean like Ronies and stuff like that? They help with controlling minor recoil, and they make the gun into a PDW, which is always a better thing than a non-PDW. But I'm reviewing a couple right now, so I don't want to get too far into them. Robert, I don't give you advice on what you should buy. I can tell you what's reliable. And as much as I dislike them, Glock 19s, Glock 17s, Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0s, Canic Metas, or even the old TP9s are pretty solid. It's hard to buy a bad gun now. You actually have to try to buy a bad gun. Ruger and Smith both have 10mm carbines. I don't know which one to get. I kind of like the LC carbine personally, but that's a personal choice. 9mm Glock 19. Like I said, 9mm Glock 19 is by far one of the most popular handguns in the world. It is a very reliable handgun, but you may find you don't like it. So I don't like to make suggestions. I sold cars for 20 years. I almost never told anybody what to buy in terms of cars. I showed people cars. I helped them decide whether or not a used car was in good shape. But I don't like to be the person to make that recommendation for you, because buying a gun is a very intense process. Like buying a car, buying a house, the minute you buy something and you own it, the odds of returning it go down. You know, you can't return a gun and get your money back because it's put in your name. Well, we got almost an hour before I got curb stomped by the fucking algorithm. So we're getting closer to getting on shadow banned. We'll see what happens. Does anyone here have experience with the Heritage Roscoe? I do not. So the wife wants to get me a present. I'm wary of Kimber quality. How's it been, if you know? It has improved dramatically. I would be much more comfortable buying a modern Kimber than I would one even 4 years ago. They seem to be a lot more solid. I can attest with no biases, despite being an owner of a few, that almost impossible to go wrong with the Canon firearm. It is very difficult. Oh, that's cool, Mouse. That's going to be a cool QR code. Because you know somebody's going to scan it, so that'll be awesome, dude. The new FC9 Prime is legit. It's also been hard to get a hold of. Distributors are just not getting them. Like, Canik is selling them directly to to resellers, and it's making it hard for distributors to get it. What's the new Kimber called? The micro or subcompact? So Kimber has a couple of guns that they've released. The KDSC9 is their version of the Wilson Combat EDC9. What's Rocky's channel called? A Dog and a Dude. Glad you like it. I put the blue in there because I know you like blue. Yeah, blue is one of my favorite colors. Always has been. Thank you, Drunk. Drunk, 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 drunky, 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 drunk. How many of you hit the like button tonight? 3 of you? Awesome. Almost 100 before the algorithm kicked me in the nuts. So until the shadow ban gets lifted, we're pretty much only going 2 hours, because for the second hour, it just winds up being us, the same 25 people over and over, which sucks balls. Wizard, what is up? What brand of 1911 would you suggest that wouldn't break the bank but is super smooth and reliable? Springfield Operator. They're about $1,200. I don't consider that a lot for a 1911. That's upper mid-tier. Fusion Firearms 1911s. You get a lot of features, front and rear backstrap checkering. You can get them in optics cut. Actually, I would recommend some Kimbers, man. Just check them out. You can get the TLE for around $1,100. If you want to go much cheaper than that, then look at like a Springfield Garrison or a upper level like HC FS TAC Ultra Rock Island in the $600 to $800 range. So that Sig stainless carry is marketed as a 1911 type pistol. Is it not a true 1911? Which stainless carry are we talking about? Are you talking about the 1911X, or are we talking about something else? Kimber Raptor Pro. Nice looking gun, but it's a little bit expensive. What made you do YouTube? I used to do Vine back in the day, 6-second videos, and I started watching and doing stuff. I nearly died and decided to start doing YouTube. You know your tools. I know a few of them. Thank you, Anna. Or Anna, excuse me. I have it worse trying to buy guns. My dealer lives 6 hours away from me, and after I buy it, he claims he's still part owner of it. No, what we are is I'm Ferrari, and you're the public. So when you buy a gun, you have a 1-year contract with me that I get to play with it whenever I want. Murky, what is going on? Yeah, the 1911X. They might be saying it's not a true 1911 because it has an external extractor. A true 1911 is an internal extractor. That's the major difference between the guns as far as I can tell. when you do that, when you deviate from the true design of a 1911, then I guess that's why they're calling it a 1911 platform. Know about those shadow bands? My most recent video ads taken away, and YouTube won't tell me why, but it comes with the territory. Yeah, so I had a video age restricted, Rabbit, and whenever I get a video age restricted, it automatically shadow bans me. So the first hour of today's video, we had 130, 150 people in the live, and as soon as 9 o'clock rolled around, you can see now there's, 30 people in the live. They stopped recommending the channel after the first hour, even though I monetized. Yeah, Vine was fun, though. How would you feel if Glock made a 1911? They won't, so I really don't know how to respond to that. I would give it as much of a chance as I could. Murky says, what's going on? Not much, Murky. What are you up to these days? Murky is an interesting name because it reminds me of a nickname for somebody I used to know. I used to call them Murky. Bull Armory is solid. Bull Armory for sure. Bull Armory actually manufactures Desert Eagles 1911s. The Magnum Research 1911s are built by Bull Armory. Why did the Beretta lose its position in the market? In terms of like market share, because they're not innovating. And they aren't as good at advertising as Glock is. Watching reviews on the Kimber Repeat yesterday and got 3/4 of the way through a video before I realized it was you. Funny video. Oh shit, I did do one on that. Yep, I played a game called Body Cam. It gets age restricted every time. Yep, Body Cam is crazy because it looks so goddamn realistic and it's just crazy. I've got that game. I bought it on accident. I thought it was single player PvE. I can't do PvP. I suck at it. You gotta send me pics of the Apollo grip this weekend so I can see what you don't like and what will work. Honestly, I just don't like the way it feels. So like if you can find like a Current Staccato or a Terran Tactical, the Tree Bark 2011 grip, file, that would be what I want. There are 4 1911. Explain me on your pegboard. There's more than that, dude. Do you have truck nuts? No, they fit in a car. Did I ever do a review on a flamethrower? I did a short on a flamethrower. Flamethrowers, you can't really do a lot of reviews. There's not a lot to do it. So you've got double stacked 1911s, Murky, such as the TSOS Night Stalker, the Apollo 11 by Live Free Armory, the TSOS BR9 double stack, and then you have traditional 1911s like the Gerson, Influencer X, and the G-Force Arms Chronicle, and then you have other ones like the LDA from Para Ordnance. So there's a bunch of different ones there. That was my Kimber. My dad stole the gun from me. Ah, so you know what it feels like. I'm just kidding. Figured I'd come in and show some love. Keep digging, even if YouTube is hating. Thank you, Foolish Rabbit. I still got your patch sitting underneath my computer monitor. If you guys haven't seen Foolish Rabbit, his channel is way bigger than mine. He does airsoft and all kinds of stuff. They stopped into my store one day after they went to a really cool event that they were talking about. I watched the videos that you guys put up on that. Pretty damn interesting, man. Wonder if somebody swapped out the grip module for the Apollo before you got her, if the company makes it 3D printed. Oh, it's factory 3D printed. Apollo 11 makes no claims that it isn't. It is factory built. That is a brand new handgun. Do you hand load? No, I actually use an Uplula. In the back bed, that's where they fit. Ah, gotcha. What's the most powerfulest 9mm shell I can use in my Gerson 2311 without damaging it? So, I mean, plus P's, no problem. Next time I'll bring my actual ghost equipment. Love the prison. That would be pretty cool. And I may actually buy stuff and just start collecting stuff in case I ever get the urge to actually participate. But it'll suck for me because I'm so physically screwed up. Can I bring my dog? I just got the heat. I like the ice grips. Yep. Penny was a foolish rabbit today. Ha! It's interesting that it's factory 3D printed. Yeah, it's crazy. I've got a close-up picture of it. I'll put it up on the YouTube community or the post tab after the live stream. Talking a lot makes me tired. I'm going to eat some corn after this. Is it worth it to make your own bullets? I don't know. I've never done it. I'm sure there's a point of return where it makes sense, but sometimes I would almost say, correct me if I'm wrong, people, but like with rifle loads so that you can custom load them, manufacture them to your exact specifications. Where are you asking if you can bring your dog? Every event. If I can bring it to like Ballistics and the prison so that my dog can run around, but you can't shoot it because I'll put a big red cross on him, and then I'll use him as a meat shield. I prefer newer stuff, Scott. Thanks, bro. PTSD vibes. I don't have PTSD. You have a storefront? Yes. It's called Wind City Armory. The 3D print fell down behind my thing here. I have to pick it up. My order has been delivered. You can call the number on the website. I don't have an online credit card processor at this moment because guns are hard to get online credit card processor for, so I'm working on that. I speak the English. My local field people bring them, but I don't think I've ever seen one on field. I don't trust people enough. Dude, anybody that's mean enough to shoot a doggo with an airsoft gun deserve to be John Wicked. Nope, I'm in Winchester. Middletown has Middletown firearms. I'm Wind City Armory, Winchester. Are all 1911 30 internal parts interchangeable? Nope, they're not. So the basic parts can be, but even when you buy parts to replace parts, many of them say require gunsmith fitting. It's not like AR-15s where they're built to a specific spec between all manufacturers. Not even close. The ejectors can be different sizes. The extractors can be different sizes. They can be in different places. Your firing pin could be a different length. There could be a lot of difference. Reloading for shotguns are the only one that's easy and worth it. Nah, I just buy new shells and shove quarters into the holes. What about Corsa Beretta models? I've seen them. I haven't put my hands on one. I'd love to get my hands on a Beretta Corsa. Corsa is the one with the compensator, right? Dun, dun, dun. My dog is asleep. Hey, Rocky, you alive? Rocky. Okay. Dude, he did not move. Scared the shit out of me. What's your favorite 1911? Sorry for somebody to ask you. Nighthawk Customs are my favorite 1911s, but in terms of 1911s that I currently possess, I have an STI Grandmaster, which is why I really need to shut the hell up when I say I'll never afford a Nighthawk. I just need to wait. I need to be patient. Yeah, that's the comp and the single action only. I'd love to get my hands on one. I've seen them. They're expensive though, man. Beautiful follow-up shots. I believe you. A comp and a good bit of weight will definitely help with like your follow-up shots and your things. Yeah, I have the STI Grandmaster 1911 chambered in 38 Super. Well, thank you, YouTube, for saying that one of my videos is suitable for all advertisers. I don't remember. Oh, that's because my partner did it. Yay! Offer still stands whenever you want to come out to Rats. I'll let you run some of my kit. I'll definitely keep it in mind. I just thought about it. I don't have any Beretta pistols. I'll get you one. Let you know on Monday how the Rete shoots. Yeah, definitely, because I'm not shooting mine until Tuesday. What's your EDC? Para-Ordnance Black Ops 1911. It's my current Perry 1911, and it's one of my favorite 1911s. Love the Airsoft collection. Thank you, BlackRock. Be careful, though. You can't shoot any of these Airsoft at your friends because they kind of make bigger holes. I had to wait 2 months to receive my 22 AR-15 long rifle in this third world country. Where the hell are you right now that's happening, dude? Do I have a Sig? Cigarette? No, sorry, I don't smoke. I got an email. Shit, why'd that happen? Something just got deleted. New Jackal has been released. Bro, that's not a bad price. Palmetto State Armory has Glock 17s for 370 bucks. That's actually a good price. Not gonna lie. Sorry, my chat is freezing on me, so bear with me if I missed your shit. Costa Rica. Nice. I can't find any files for 2011 grip modules. Yeah, sorry, man. You might not be able to. Also, look up double stack 1911. Tommy comes in with a big old donation. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. What gen Glock? Gen 4. Do you believe the P320 myth? I still don't keep one in the hand. Yes, I believe the myth. I believe it's an overhyped myth, but I believe the myth. Would you daily a 9mm do it all cartridge? Yeah, I would. I've done it with the Gerson Influencer for a while. I'm what you may call a Costa Rican redneck. Sorry you have to wait so much, dude. That's crazy. But it's plastic. Kenny, I don't own any guns. Guns are dangerous. They hurt people. They wake up in the middle of the night and decide to take out many, many people. So guns are bad, and boo, I don't touch guns. Guns are evil. Guns are bad. I have a dog channel. I don't know why you're talking about guns. Guns are... no. No guns. Guns. Ooh, boo guns. Guns. No guns. You're good at reading through typos. Thank you. I try to be. Liking. Holy shit. Huge dono. Thank you. I like the kitty cat. Or, excuse me, the Shiba Inu dog. I was going to say, why would you put a cat? But that's awesome. Thank you so much for that donation, Lycan. You are keeping me in Gatorade Zero. You have no idea how much I love you. Daryl says, GG, GG. Everybody likes that, Lycan. Thank you. Also, you're keeping my dog in wet dog food because he's a prima donna, prissy little girl who only likes soft dog food. Woof, woof. Yeah, you opened your eyes. Are you okay, buddy? You okay? Or are you just tired? Yeah, you're okay. Smile. Yeah, he's a good boy. He's fine. They're supposed to drool, right? Just kidding. He doesn't drool. My dog is awesome. He's just very tight. My dog literally played hall monitor today. I'm both proud of him and sad that my dog is a fucking nerd. Hi, buddy. Who's my nerd? So, yeah. Hopefully it doesn't rain too bad in the morning because I want him to be able to go to the park. We go to the dog park every morning for like 2 hours. Is the gun with the desert grip new? The desert grip? Which, desert grip. If you're referring to that one, no. That one was here last week. If you're referring to that one, technically I got it this week. And if you're referring to that one, the one with the stainless side, those are new this week. But when you say desert grip, I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Help me out here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So those are the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on that wall. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The one under the AK. The tan one, no. That one was up there last week, but you might not have been here, Tommy. That is the Retay, R-E-T-A-Y, RXP22. That is a 22 caliber 226 kind of looking gun. It's manufactured by Retay out of Turkey. They're known for making shotguns, and they decided to make a 22 caliber pistol. It is a double action, single action. It is a 13.5 pound double action pull on it. Very heavy. Retay did not send that to me. I bought it through Palmetto State for about $200. Realizing afterwards that as a dealer, as an FFL, I could have bought TX22s for less. What do you do if somebody breaks in? Shit in my hand and punch them. It adds poison damage. If you had to choose a do everything gun for the apocalypse, what would it be? Probably a shotgun, to be honest with you, Iraq. Because a shotgun, you can use birdshot for fowl and birds and rabbits, things like that. You could use buckshot for bigger game. You could use slugs for big game, both four and two-legged variety. So a shotgun, in my opinion, would be one of the biggest, best guns to have. Follow that up with a good sidearm. I'm not bright. Realistically, I have a shotgun, an AR, and a 1911 always loaded, ready to go. So I also have a dog now, and I'm pretty sure that because my dog is so freaking lovable that anybody that breaks into my home will just start petting the dog so that I can dome them. The intruder, not the dog. Plus, you can use cut shells if you don't have slug. I've heard that. I've never shot cut shells before, but I'm interested in trying. Just to see what they do to a target. Although, YouTube, I'm not saying that out loud, you algorithm AI son of a bitch. 1 new like in the last 12 minutes. Come on, guys. Anybody that's new here, hit the like button. It's the easiest thing you can do for a channel. Not even mine. Anybody else that you might go and check out. Just hit the like button, man. Even if you don't like them, doing it encourages YouTube to stop being a bunch of bitches and actually give us time on the air. Y'all have a good evening. I have a Rottweiler Doberman mix. I got it as a puppy from a Palenque in my neck of the woods. Awesome. Thanks for hanging out, THX. Notice no notification on live. You left an email. I'll have to check it out after the live, Jeff. Did you get my last email where I was telling you that since that Beretta is manufactured new still, you can probably get a better deal just buying it from your local FFL? Say hello to my little friend. Do you have one gun you would never sell? I've actually got a few of them. That AR-15 will never get sold. Ugh. My buddy built... it's based on a build that my buddy started for me. He did that. I will never sell that gun because that was a gift. Gifted guns I don't sell. My grandfather's Winchester 1894 and 3030 I would never sell. Well, actually I would sell the 01 Tactical. But like the guns I've gotten from manufacturers, I probably won't sell. Parts I'll sell, but not full guns. I'll never sell my CZ Orange. Fuck you. I mean, hi. Sorry for all the questions. No, that's the point of these live streams, Star. That's what I want. In fact, though, I'll leave us up. Thank you, man. Talk now. What do you think about that Taurus Judge you got in the wall? Never shot that particular one. That's actually the Public Defender, the polygun. It's got the 3-inch chamber, so it'll be interesting to shoot. Everyone hit the like button. Let's get the stream to at least 50 likes. Stone, I have given up my attempt to make claims of ownership of the TS Orange. I will just wait for another one. Sold my 1873 to buy a 4-wheeler and regret it every day. I get it, man. There are several guns that I regret selling, including Stonehaven has my CZ Orange that I honestly should not have sold to him. Not because he's an asshole. He's a great guy. Stone is the guy that you call at 3 o'clock in the morning who would probably drive 8 hours to change your tire because you've like broken both of your hands. But mainly because I sold him the gun because I thought I was done with it, and turns out I really miss it. I picked it up cold at his buddy's range, and at 100 yards, I was hitting a steel target from 100 yards cold. That gun was the best shooting gun ever. Do I shoot suppressed often? Once or twice a month. I don't shoot often because I don't use the suppressor in the house. It's a novelty item for the channel. Am I going to try and get the Orange 2? If a good deal popped up on one, like if a used one walked in the store for a Tactical Sport Orange 2, yeah, I would find a way to keep it. No, it was a Tactical Sport Orange, the original one, Himothy. I inherited a super rusty Remington semi-auto shotgun, and I'm kind of scared to shoot it. Just go through it, man. Take it apart. Oil the shit out of it. Unless the metal is corrupted, like, all the way through, it should be able to handle it. Yeah, Himothy, if you go on my channel and go under shorts and just look up Acorn, you'll see what I did to it. I shot it rapid fire while shooting a Texas Star from 35 yards, and then I threw the gun downrange. Sorry to ask, but where the AK brand you would recommend getting? Zastava, Arsenal. If you want to go budget, you can get a Century. That's about it. Cliff just subscribed. Thank you, sir. Appreciated that. I should trade. Hey, Stone, I've got a really nice Night Stalker. I'll trade you for that orange. I find it interesting that of the guns that you always talk about refusing to sell, it happens to be guns I sold you. We have good taste. That's all there is to it. He threw his messed up I didn't finish, so I bought it, colored it blue, and now he wants it back because it's an amazing shooting gun. Look, man, I can make all the excuses in the world. The fact is, I'm a dumbass because instead of buying the DWX, I could have bought one. Instead of buying the Grandmaster, I could have bought two. Instead of buying a lot of guns that I've bought in the last year, I could have bought a TSO, and I didn't because I'm a dumbass. So the fault is all on the Jiminy Show for selling the gun in the first place, but also it's my own fault because I bought other guns instead of buying that gun back. So it's a double dumbass on me. Also, I'm overheating for some reason. There we go. And I don't think I messed up the throw. I think it was a successful throw. That son of a bitch bounced hard. I mean, hard. Like, end over end, ass over tea kettle. You got super good deals on those guns. As long as you remember that, buddy. Oh no, drink some cold water. No, I all day. We had a major humidity shift today, last night, and that really made me feel bad. And right now, I just feel like the underside of a used toilet brush. Like, I don't feel good at all. I have, like, the dumb. So the fact that I'm still speaking cognitively is impressive. Like, I'm not suffering brain fog right now, which is something I go through. It's an amazing medical thing that people don't understand fully. Frickin' brain fog is a bitch, man, because you can't think of many words. What's your pick on QD mounts for suppressors? I don't deal much with rifle suppressors. Doesn't Huckworks have a really cool click-on one, I think? Not much. Paul says, reporting back on the BCA 450 Bushmaster, 500 rounds, only 4 failed to eject and went through the first 380 flawless. Oh, and it works with the binary. There you go. If you want to run a Bear Creek Arsenal 450 Bushmaster upper, you may actually have a good time. Did I skip your last question on purpose? I don't think so, Star. The last thing I see from you is where you said you sold your 1873 to buy a four-wheeler, and I talked about that one. So your question just didn't show. I might end up with the Prodigy again. That's cool. I need to get another Prodigy, but I'm all out of Sig fuses to trade. Hope you feel better. My printer is on layer 3 of 35 for the QR code. That's awesome, dude. I appreciate that. That's going to be so friggin' awesome. I'm going to wear it around my neck like a chain. It's looking kind of bad. I hope the print turns out okay. QR codes, because of their design, maybe they look funky when they're printing. I don't know. Let me know. Keep me in mind. Let me know whether it goes and you know Zadaba. Tag weekly to increase ownings. I can't tag pro things in my shit, YouTube, because they're all guns. Lol, only 6 hours to go. Yeah, I can't stay up that late, though. My doggo is playing dead, and it's freaking me out. He normally doesn't sleep that hard right now. I think I domed the shit out of him. I might have given my dog a concussion. You see the CEO who got caught cheating on his wife on a Jumbotron at a concert? No, but that's funny. It would have been even more ironic if his company manufactured the Jumbotron. Think because I didn't clean the print bed. Hey, as long as the QR code works, I don't care if it's ugly. Did you see the guy that got arrested near the White House with his car full of ammo and guns, and he was from the other side of the country, from like Oregon? Is it bad if I don't know what the hell a Jumbotron is? The big thing that displays like people's faces at ball games and stuff. You know, like the kiss cam and replay cams and things like that. The morbid question you missed was if you had to choose a gun. So that probably got held by the filter, man. I've actually committed suicide, so I really don't like answering those questions. Was the CEO, the head of HR having an affair? Both got fired. Damn. I think it should work, but it might be kind of ugly. Yeah, with the head of HR. Made a statement complaining, saying it was a private moment, should not have been on TV. Arox says, my bad, shitty question. Yeah, in general, I don't really like participating in that kind of because it really isn't a good even want to participate in. And I get that you're trying to be lighthearted the way you asked it or with morbidity's sake, but it's not a question that I care to answer. Do you think ammo prices are going to fall further than they're already at now? Not really, especially with the giant orange talking carrot in office. Who the frick knows what he's going to do to tariffs tomorrow? So ammo prices are super solid right now. Buy now, worry about it later. So, as a retailer, the price of 9mm is back to where it was at the beginning of COVID for some manufacturers, so I'm not going to complain. And if I do complain, I'm going to complain that my doggy doesn't have more subscribers than I do yet. You guys need to subscribe to a dog and a dude because when he gets to 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours, I'll be able to monetize him and he'll make more money than I will. And then I will make him sign a power of ARF attorney. So when he signs a power of ARF attorney, giving me control over his fortunes, then I'm going to buy him a Lamborghini. Would I vote for Brandon Herrera as ATF president? Well, number one, we don't vote for who becomes them. Number two, when he's not being a dumbass to entertain YouTube people, then he's actually a pretty smart guy. So I do believe that if he buckles down and he's serious about doing the job, I think he could do the job exceptionally well because he's not that stupid. But yes, I want to buy my dog a Lamborghini, so everybody go and subscribe to A Dog and a Dude. I don't think that's an unfair request. I'll even let him sit in my truck while I'm driving the Lamborghini. There's something sticky on my desk and I can't get it off. Ha, that's what your mom said. You prefer the 8-round mags or the flush 7 rounds for a 1911? Mag technology, you can run flush fit 8-round mags. The Gerson, actually it doesn't have a flush fit because that one was running a magwell. But yeah, you can run flush fit 8-round mags. But I prefer Wilson combat mags. They tend to have base plates on them, and I prefer them because of their polymer followers. Polymer followers, polymer followers, polymer followers, polymer followers, polymer followers. I knew I was going to fuck up eventually. Good stream. It's doing pretty good, man. I appreciate everybody coming along. We picked up like 40 new subscribers. I know talking about metrics is boring as shit, but you know, trying to make sure that the channel does what it's supposed to. We were on track to get like 3,000 subs this month, and then YouTube decided to kick me in the nuts. And I think they did it in a subversive way, which is really bullshit. They went and age restricted a video from nearly 7 years ago in order to shadow ban me, which is a bullshit thing to do. Bumping the night gun, Mossberg 930 Tactical. It used to be the 1911 that I kept on my bed, but since my dog is on the bed, I really don't feel comfortable because he has really big paws, and if he wants to pull the gun out and drop the safety and get his paws around the grip safety correctly, there's like a 0.8080 chance that he could figure out how to fire the gun. And since it's kept cocked and locked, the last thing I need to do is see a dog shoot my gun into a wall. I'm hearing a lot of streamers say the same kind of things. Yeah, as a private entity that has hundreds of millions of videos, hundreds of millions of hours of videos, they're trying to sell their advertising to the big companies and then trying to pick channels that, in their opinion, best represent the values of the advertisers. Totally understandable. But they're using arbitrary and bullshit criteria to not be the bad guy when they refuse to pay some of us other people. The best way I can associate it is actually the tax stamp on suppressors. The U.S. government didn't want to start an all-out war against suppressors by saying you can't own them. So in the 1960s, when they started the tax stamp for suppressors, they made tax stamps for suppressors $200. A suppressor in 1964, 65 was $2. So they made the suppressor 100 times more expensive than the item itself. So they made the tack stamp 100 times more expensive than the item. So by doing that, if they hadn't made it a legacy tax and they applied it to today, that would mean that a suppressor would cost $100,000 to $200,000. But the government isn't saying you can't have it. They're just saying we're going to make it so expensive that this is how you get it. It's the same thing YouTube is doing to not pay me my money. They're using an arbitrary rule that they themselves create to violate my rights as a content creator. You can steal Rocky's money and he'll get one of those kid divorces from you. Oh, dude, he won't do that. He loves me too much. I domed him with the muzzle of a gun and he still loves me. For lack of words, frickin' childish. Yes, I heard on a video today that a cocked 1911 with the safety on is a safety way to carry it. It's satire. Is a reason behind it not having it decocked. Number one, because a 1911, a real 1911 is single action only. It's not double action. So there is no way to decock it outside of physically pulling back on the hammer, pulling the trigger, and slowly releasing the hammer, which can lead to a discharge. A negligent discharge. A 1911 is not designed to be decocked. Also, the safety on a 1911, the external manual safety, cannot be engaged unless the gun is cocked. So a 1911 is literally the genesis of the phrase cocked and locked. It's the only proper way to safely carry a 1911 outside of not having a round in it. You don't have rights as a content creator. YouTube isn't consistent in its enforcement. Yeah, when I say rights, I knew that was going to get something. Have you ever had to make a tool to fix a gun? Oh, all the time. Special wrenches and flat tips, modifying tools, things for my vise to hold guns. I know you're not a doctor, but I got something terrible in the sleeplessness department. Any medicating recommendations for sleeplessness? Masturbation. A good orgasm will make you sleepy. A bad orgasm will make you frustrated and sleepy. In terms of medication, there's nothing I can recommend because I don't take medication. I suffer from massive pain, so I sleep like a cat. The dog will tell you as soon as I finish teaching him English. I sleep like a cat. I stay awake until I pass out. So I take a lot of little naps during the day and during the night. You're thinking about a few years they would try and do something else to try to regulate suppressors. Once they get handled in that respect, I don't know what they can do. So marijuana got handled that way where they keep reducing restrictions on them. I don't know if there's something else they can do to try to restrict them outside of banning firearms and accessories. Unless they make an extremely idiotic step and the ATF decides to try to create laws again where they go all accessories on a firearm are illegal, you can only have them the way they were created, and then we'll go back to integrated suppressors. YouTube didn't take down the one video iDubbbz made. He had to do it himself. I think it's state level restrictions is the best way to go. I didn't take down my video that got adult or age restricted, but I did private it to keep it from being displayed so that it doesn't affect the algorithm. When you have videos that are age restricted showing up, which number one doesn't happen, but if somebody can look at your channel and see age-restricted content showing up very easily, then YouTube will note that, and then when it comes to trending, suggested, shit like that, your stuff just won't show up. But my shorts videos, retention and views have gone back up, and then the first hour of the lives have gone back up again. I don't think state level, I think state level, yeah. But yeah, we'll see as it... What are you guys doing? Are you driving a bus that's on its side? Sit up, you fools. There you go. Why didn't you guys tell me the sloths were lying down sideways? That was the problem. That is why YouTube is messing with me. My sloths were sideways. Also, I'm dangerously close to the 3D printed Chiappa Rhino, so I have to be careful. Oh, there's a hat. I have hats all over this place. So I say on my shorts that they aren't for kids. Is that protecting from that? No. Saying that they're not made for kids just means they automatically won't show up on YouTube Kids. It does not protect you from anything. I was too busy looking at a handsome fella. Rocky's not even on camera. Hey, Rocky, you doing good, buddy? You good? Dude, he is so tired. Bro, if you have a concussion, you have to stay awake. Although I domed you like, whoa, I domed you like 9 hours ago. You should be fine. Yeah, don't hit your dog in the head with the muzzle of a shotgun, please. Trust me, I feel like shit. Yeah, so every one of my videos is automatically marked not for children. So one of the biggest differences on my channel is I have a YouTube Shorts partner that automatically handles my requests and stuff. So I literally don't have to do anything anymore when it comes to those. I do not have somebody for my long form videos, so they get attacked all the time. Probably aggravated, but you keep calling when he's trying to sleep. He sighs every time I do it. I feel you there, lol. I'm tired of foot. Yeah, my leg is really sore too because I'm walking a lot more than I used to. So, oh, don't you start with me, mouse. Penny, come here, Penny. Penny, you should chew on another cord, Penny. Do I have a YouTube guy or like a manager? I do not have a YouTube partner for my long form stuff. Like I was saying, I do have one for my shorts videos because my YouTube shorts were getting me in trouble because people kept submitting claims that I was selling guns through the shorts. So eventually I wound up getting a partner for that. So the partner for the shorts is not the same as a partner for the long form stuff. And the long form stuff is what I have the most problems with. When a video gets demonetized, now I have a way of resubmitting some things that I can't really talk about because it doesn't work for everybody, but it works for me. But when it comes to the age-restricted videos, I'm not able to resubmit those, which is dumb because they age-restricted a gun when we were shooting a Tommy gun. Fake claims is kind of shitey, brother. I'm sorry that happened to you. It happens to everybody that gets any kind of following. I've seen it happening to dudes with 200 subscribers. I've seen it happening to people with 2 million subscribers. The internet is going to internet as long as the internet has existed, and Abraham Lincoln said that. So you take it, you hope that your channel doesn't get deleted before you get it figured out, and then you try to come back from it. So not only that, I've had a problem with some of my live streams being terminated because the algorithm thinks that I have an unattended child because I'm an idiot. I don't want kids seeing guns without parents knowing at least. So by marking it not for kids, it should put it only on the regular YouTube. And if you actually read through YouTube's terms of service, nobody under the age of 13 should actually be watching regular YouTube. They should be restricted to YouTube Kids. If you've ever been to YouTube Kids is a way more lockdown. The algo thinks you're a child. That's the only thing I can explain because I got accused of leaving an unattended child on a gun live stream twice. I also got accused of transporting a firearm when I brushed the front trunnion of an AK on accident. So I've had 3 lives terminated in the last minute because of the way I was talking and things I've done. It's on layer 5 now. Awesome, dude. Yeah, like I said, YouTube is so screwy right now that it's hard for me to want to make it a full-time thing. Seems to be a controversy regarding mag storage. Do you store your mags loaded or unloaded? If I know I'm not going to shoot the gun for years, then I unload them. But for my daily carries and my extra mammo, my mammograms, but for my extra ammo and stuff like that, I tend to leave my mags loaded. Wait, transporting, does that mean you can't touch them or they boot you? Yes, if I touch a handgun, if I put a gun in my hand, it will, if the AI is sweeping at that moment, will terminate the video automatically. 3 of your lives got taken down just tonight. No, over the course of doing live streams, Cody. But yeah, there are people that have told me they've held Nerf guns and had their lives terminated. One guy told me he had a super soaker and he got terminated. So you have to be very careful. That's why I won't touch even the 3D printed ones, because the algorithm can't tell the difference between an airsoft, a water gun, a toy gun, anything like that. I have had mags loaded since I got them during Freedom Week. Yeah, so I wish somebody would come out with a new platform. There's plenty of them out there. Rumble Player, Floatplane, there's actual gun websites. But the problem is none of them have the reach, the power, the marketing, or the following that YouTube does, because YouTube started as the most broad place, so more people subscribe to it, more people stay subscribed to it. I've been on Rumble for years. I've made 38 cents in 2 years. He just had targets getting hit, that's all. What? Saw a guy earlier shooting off camera or faking it. If it doesn't physically see it, the sound of a round hitting won't get the live terminated. I can show video of me shooting guns. That's fine. But in this plane of existence, if the phone sees, if the algorithm sees that it's a monitor or a replay, it can identify those as not real. So somebody shooting off camera is probably fine. Nobody watches Rumbles. Pretty much, goats. It's on layer 6 now. Alrighty. Looks like we're going to have some things going on here now. It's on layer 6 now. It is a big print. Interesting. Yeah, 8 inch by 8 inch. That sounds like a bad prison night, but a pretty good print. So we got about 10 minutes left. We'll be good. My dad's all Smith & Wesson. The springs are fine. The base plate broke, though. That's why I want to do Twitch. Twitch, you can shoot as long as you aren't being aggressive. I can show firearms as long as you don't point them towards camera and you're not flailing around with them. So there are platforms at which gun channels could do better. I could do a just chatting Twitch stream. I don't know how to use Rumble. Just go to Rumble and search, man. It's really meh. I remember when all the gun channels were attacked. Yeah, and also there's been a big problem with some gun channels giving bad information. Like Hickok 45 deleted an entire month worth of his videos because he was given bad information and he was thusly passing bad information. I've never removed any video outside of the age-restricted ones, and those are just switched to members only. What was your first tattoo? It was actually this one up on the upper arm. This one coming down here to the elbow was my first tattoo. And then this one was put on the same day. I do live stream together and just chat for a while. Let me know if it sounds like a good deal. I'll think about it. I don't know if I want to do that. And it's nothing against you goats. It's nothing against anybody. It's just, it's just not something I want to do. I wonder if Twitch has a shooting section. I'm sure you can search by guns. But yeah, it's just, I would just do it under just chatting. You should wear the boobies if you do the Twitch just chatting stream. No, because they actually will boot you on Twitch for sexualization a lot sooner than YouTube will. Believe it or not, it's easier for me to get away with the titties on YouTube than it is on Twitch. Howdy, howdy, Glock hater. Howdy, howdy, Pat. Do you miss Demo Ranch? Not really, man. I think I watched like 5 of his videos in the last year he was on YouTube. And if he even came back, I wouldn't notice. Demo Ranch, Mr. Beast, PewDiePie, channels where they have to keep on accelerating the excitement of what they're doing are non-sustainable. Didn't Twitch have that artistic nudity thing, though? Yeah, it lasted about as long as when OnlyFans said they were going to remove nudity. You're a Glock hater? Hell yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I love Brandon Herrera. Brandon Herrera's in the same boat as everybody else. Demo Ranch made him extremely popular, and it created an expectation. I know I'm grabbing for a booger, but dude, if I don't get it out of my nose, I'm going to kill. I can't say that out loud. I'm going to kill a mosquito. But yeah, it's going to drive me nuts, dude. I love Brandon Herrera. Yeah, like I said, his earlier stuff was awesome. He started losing me when he started doing a shit ton of meme reviews. He used to act like he hated doing them, but it made him so much money. Hang on a second, please. Come on, get in there, buddy. Get that finger up in there. Paul, there is one new gun on the wall that wasn't up there before. It is difficult to spot, but I also changed the order, so it may be a little bit different. I'm not digging for gold. I'm digging for bronze at this point because that nugget is on the end. It's hard to see because of the light, but it's the third one up next to the bloop tube. It is a Sarshimal's B69. I heard Rocky saying that Labradoodles are the Glock of dogs. Actually, he tried to get into a fight-ish with a Labradoodle today. They kind of didn't like each other at first, but they wound up liking each other. But Rocky is... he is literally asleep right now. He's my boy, though. He's a good boy. Rocky's a good boy. Rocky, Rocky, Rocky Road. All right, guys, we're getting right to anything. Did everything come out right? It's all right. He milked the AK-50 for years. Yeah. So was that his Apollo? Which one? Good stream, thank you. Is the AA-12 one of those unicorn guns? It is now. When they first came out and they weren't illegal, and then they made them illegal, it made it fucky. AK-50 is a great idea for clickbait, but the way he talked about it, he was sitting on his thumbs. Well, he was also trying to run his AK building company and build the gun with only his money and make it work. I really don't feel bad that it took him that long because he never asked for a single dollar. Why are they illegal? Because they're fully automatic. Steven says that came out totally wrong. I drank 12 ounces of olive oil. I don't give a shit what you guys think. I don't care. I'm going crazy. The other dog, was he considered Rocco's Apollo? Ah. I get it now. But not really, because they're friends, but not in that way. Like, I said ding ding and they didn't do shit. Oh, the company wasn't developing it. I just kind of assumed it was an R&D thing. No, he was doing that on his own as a private project. Can you get a permit to build a fully automatic weapon? With a 0702 license, you can build fully automatic weapons, but you can't sell them. Have you ever seen any AKs built by his company? That's the thing for a long time. I remember his site saying we're not doing any builds company, and they recently opened up for builds. He was so busy with his YouTube thing, and he used to be in Georgia, and he moved to Texas, and he took his company there, or I think so. Steven, you're getting a little bit weird. I'm not going to acknowledge a lot of those. I have never personally seen one of his guns, but I've never really been that big of an AK fan. 0702 license. Yes, look up ATF manufacturing license. Oh, my nose is weird right now. Weird. 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 I wonder why I keep getting in trouble. You need to get an 0702. No, I don't need to get an 0702 license. It's an extra $500 a year that I don't have already. Your nose is already weird, buddy. Dude, it's because I keep sticking my foot in it. Anything else first? Yeah, you need to get a regular license before you can get an SOT. An SOT is special occupational tax. The 0702 is easier to get as an individual than a regular one, though. If I try or if I get a fully automatic machine gun parts kits from HK, am I going to get a visit? No, you can buy a parts kit. You just can't assemble it. Like, you can buy a full auto MP5 trigger pack. You just can't install it in a gun. You can buy the trigger pack for like $300, but if you put it into an MP5, then you get a visit. Also, don't be surprised if you get on somebody's radar because you ordered an HK parts kit full auto trigger pack. I had an SWAT AR-10. That company didn't last long due to poor craftsmanship, so I sold it while it still functioned. That makes sense. Have that. We'll be looking into very soon. Thank you. Yeah, just double check it. It's like $500 a year, I believe. Wait, what? You can own it but not use it? That's weird. Like what? Like the hell triggers? So it's stupid. But yeah. Because a trigger is not a gun. A trigger by itself is an inanimate object. But when you take a trigger and you put it into a serialized item, you create a machine gun. Owning a piece of metal is not illegal, but when putting that piece of metal into a gun makes it a machine gun, that's when it becomes illegal. I wish you would get an 0702. I don't, man, because it would change what I do too much. Is a Sig 716i worth picking up for 900 used? I haven't looked at one in a super long time. It sounds right, but I don't know. The gun is the bolt, right? No, not the bolt. So on an MP5, for example, the serial number is actually in the upper receiver, not the trigger pack, which is another reason why you can change it. But for a Sig Sauer, a 320, 365, for example, the trigger pack is the serialized part, whereas the lower on a Glock is a serialized part. The lower on an AR is a serialized part, but not the trigger pack. So it's a bunch of bullshit that determines what is and is not a gun. I done having the homemade grease guns. So, but I understand what you're saying, Larry. It's not the feeding mechanism by itself. It's individually based on the gun that you're trying to talk about. It's really stupid how that works, and I don't like it. All right, guys, we are at 10 o'clock. I need to clock out of here. My day job awaits me sleeping. Also, my dog needs to go potty. He's either so comfortable with me that he's sleeping that heavily or he's unconscious from the ding in the head. So, do not Donnie. Nah, it's, we're all good, dude. Thank you guys for hanging out as long as you did. Thank you very much. Belt fed with an FRT just feels cheap. Pretty much, man. Get a crank full auto. I'll look at your email, Jeff, and I'll respond. Have a good body break. Thank you. How is you? Go wash your hands now. No, not going to wash my hands. I'm going to stick my finger in my butt. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Let me pick up this phone, and I will show you the dog, and then I will cancel the rest of the live. Have a nice weekend, you too. Thanks for the info and entertainment. Becoming a fan, definitely sub. Thank you, Airrock. Hey, Rocky, say goodbye to the fan. See, he's not dead. I was telling you the truth. All right, guy.
Bye-bye.